Welcome to the Daddy Nina Show. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Happy Thursday.
There's your applause. Gotta love it. Got a great show for you today. What's the title of the show today?
Inner monologue.
Inner monologue. What's that all about?
Well, it's basically about how whenever you're doing tasks, or just for me, all day long, I always have a voice in my head. And I always have, the inner thoughts going on to get me from one thing to the next. And there are some people out there who do not have that.
They don't have an inner monologue?
They have, no. No, they don't. And I pulled up some articles here too. I found it very fascinating because I can't imagine not having that inner voice with everything that I do. Can you?
Well, no, I think the inner voice is part of the creative person. I think it's a very key part of the creative person. And both you and I are creative people, and we have a tendency of surrounding ourselves by creative people. So I believe, a lot of doctors would probably say it's a little psychotic to be able to hear those voices all the time, but it's the voices that kind of keep you up at night, I'm sure.
Oh, sure. Your inner conscience, I don't know if you're like me, but I go through everything. I go through conversations. I go through...
Well, it's the whole thought process, and especially, right. I don't know about you, or anybody else out there, but I figure out problems that I've had throughout the day while I'm asleep. And then I come up with a solution by the next day.
I do that throughout the day. Like I'll wake up with a question or with something that I'm doing and, struggle with it. And by the end of the day or a couple hours later, I talk myself into the answer that I need.
Yeah, I usually just get frustrated with the fact that I'm not coming up with the answer. But it seems to come to me while I'm sleeping. So I guess my conscious... my subconscious is continuously working on that. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about here, right, with the inner monologue? Yeah,
they said that you can call it your subconscious. Some people call it the voice, kind of like the voice of God, like, somebody else helping you through what you're going through, even tasks that you're doing. It's very helpful to have that monologue going on, at least for me, to figure my way through life, I guess, and relationships.
Yeah, where'd you get this information, or where'd you see this?
Well, this particular article I got from Today. Yeah, I guess the newspaper. There's so many different sites out there. There's so many different opinions, and basically it's all opinionated. All opinions. What got me going was I saw something that said that only 50% of people have this inner monologue. And really? I was like, no way.
50% of people, they just don't have any thoughts?
They don't have that inner monologue. They have their thoughts, they just think of things differently than I do. They don't stay up at night replaying their conversations or things that may have happened this week, last month, 5 years ago.
See, I always just thought that was people that just didn't care about what went on throughout the day.
Well, that's your opinion. There's so many different opinions out there for that. And I don't know.
I don't know either. So you said you got this information, or you read an article from the Today website?
Yeah, actually, that's the one that I picked.
So, like the Today Show, the Today newspaper, something like that?
Yeah, that newspaper.
Newspaper, okay. I'm just curious. It's an interesting thought.
Yeah, it is, because I didn't have a clue that there were people that didn't think this way.
So if they don't like think that way, how do they pre-plan anything or do anything like that?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Did the article say anything about that?
Nope. Didn't say anything about that part.
All right.
They just said that the one lady said that she doesn't have those constant thoughts going through her head. Actually, I could read it for you.
Yeah, that'd be great. This is an article from www.today.com. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And Nina's going to read some of the article, and we're going to talk about it because this is very interesting to us, and I hope you find it interesting as well.
Right, because I'm sure, yeah, like I said, there's so many different places that said, it's like half of the population that has this. And then there are other articles that have huge variance in it, where everybody talks to themselves, but it just depends on the degree. I guess I'm more of the, I don't know what you would call it, but I visualize things as well as talk to myself and hear those inner voices.
Yeah, once again, part of the creative process for most creative people. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I mean, it's part of having an imagination.
Yes. Now this, I'm going to go ahead and read this. It says, as Megan Day goes through life, there's a narrator in her mind. Sometimes it's helpful, reminding her what she needs from the store or what's on her to-do list. Other times it's introspective, and she plays out an emotionally charged debate in her head. A lot of times I don't actually follow through, she said, but I feel better afterwards because I've had the internal dialogue with myself on how I'm feeling. The 40-year-old mom and Stella and Dot consultant in Cincinnati told Today. Like others, she was really surprised when she came across a blog a week ago about internal monologues that dropped a bombshell. Not everyone has one. I was totally shocked, she said. I can't imagine not having that in their brains, like the voice in your head isn't coming through. It just blew my mind. When Molly Muldowney read about it, she was also stunned, but for a different reason. She had no idea she was unusual. The stay-at-home mom and massage therapist from Cleveland Heights said she doesn't hear a voice in her head. At first, she felt badly about it. There was something wrong with her. She even experimented with adding a narrator. I'm like, okay, well, let me try to give myself an internal monologue. And I've tried, and I must tell you, it's like hot mush in the brain. The 27-year-old mom told Today, it was totally exhausting, and I can't do it. Instead, Muldowney suspects she'll do what she's done in the past and simply talk out her thoughts. I tend to have to vent to people about it, she said. While the blog sparked debate between the haves and have-nots, experts agree that everyone has some sort of internal monologue. We all do, in fact, have what we colloquially refer to as an inner voice. Ethan Cross, director of the Self-Control and Emotionally Laboratory at the University of Michigan, told Today, if I were to ask you to read a passage in your head or silently repeat the phone number when you're trying to memorize it or rehearse something that you're about to say to someone else, you're activating that inner voice. That's the basic function of an inner voice, completing tasks. As toddlers, children start developing their own voice by repeating out loud what a parent tells them. That's how they learn to manage themselves, and they soon realize it should be a quiet conversation. They eventually learn you have to internal dialogue. Jennifer Beckjord, Senior Director of Clinical Services at UPMC Western Behavioral Health, told Today. Internal self-talk helps them to make sense of the world around them, to evaluate situations, to engage in protective mechanisms, or to create.
Or to create. As a creative person.
For those like Muldowney who don't generally self-talk, they might simply experience their inner lives differently. Internal monologue probably comes in degrees of abstractness. Some people may simply use the most abstract form that does not sound like speech. Other people may tend to rely more on visual imagery. Mark Scott, an assistant professor of linguistics at Qatar University, told Today via email, not having an internal monologue does not mean that there is something wrong with the person. Research backs this up. Cross says people who are hearing impaired have internal monologues that involve signing, and some people see images instead of hearing words. I thought that was very interesting.
That is interesting.
That deaf people visualize the signing, which makes sense.
Well, yeah, it makes complete sense because otherwise they wouldn't. I mean, they don't. Most of them don't really know what sound is, or stuff like that. So yeah, sign. I mean, it's their only language, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And everyone has thoughts going on. The Gallagher Clinic director at the Center of Treatment and Study of Anxiety in the Perelman School of Medicine at the University of Pennsylvania told Today, some people don't have it in their own voice. They are more abstract. Research hasn't examined why some people have a more narrative tone to their internal monologues, but some studies have looked at the stories people tell themselves. There are countless studies of autobiographical reasoning that look at people's tendencies to tell stories about their lives, Cross said. That capacity to tell a particular story is often crucial to helping people adjust to negative life experiences. Well, that's true. Whenever I'm going through something
Well, you
hard.
watch me pace back and forth and talk to myself all the time.
Right, and even the hand gestures and everything.
Yep.
All right. An inner voice can help people understand the world and engage in it. But sometimes that inner monologue turns negative or becomes fixated on a thought. This obsession can be a sign of something else. Now, we've all been there. We have moments we replay, and then we try to change it in our minds.
Oh, yeah. You do change it. Most people, they change it to suit them.
Right.
Most of the time. So, they can tell you the story, and somebody else can tell you the story, and somebody else can tell you the story, and they all was there, but it's just their point of view.
Right.
Their perspective
Well,
of how they saw it or how they interpreted what they saw.
Everybody experiences things differently. And I just heard that too. Somebody said that you could be in the same situation as 5 other people, and everybody has a different outlook on it because each individual takes,
Right.
takes it differently.
Right. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then some of that ruminating that people can do is more of an anxiety process. If you find that you are over analyzing and going through scenarios, that can be a problem. People often worry that hearing voices is a sign of serious mental illness. Pop culture equates these voices with schizophrenia or serial killers like Son of Sam, who claim his neighbor's dog told him to kill. But for most people, hearing a voice, even if they believe it's divine, isn't a sign that anything is wrong. Many religiously observant individuals report hearing the voice of God. These are people who are perfectly well-functioning, but who simply represent their inner voice in that way. And that's from Today's Health and Wellness on, I found it on Facebook.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of interesting information in that article.
It was. It caused me to have a different perspective, because you don't realize all the different things that are out there in the world and how people see different things and how it can cause a lot of issues and fights.
Well, what that article tells me is a lot of creative people are misdiagnosed with having mental illness.
Yes, absolutely, and that's all opinion based.
Oh, I'm sure it is. They They absolutely will not do the studies on that. They don't want to have actual numbers on stuff like that. At least that's my opinion. But this is a non-political show, so we're not going to go that far into that left field with that.
Yeah. I mean, these are our opinions, and we don't have any fact base on this. We're just speaking for ourselves.
Right. We're just speaking for ourselves right here on STL Hits.
Yeah.
The Daddy Mer and Nina show. So, we're going to, you know what? Christmas is right around the corner, too.
Is it?
Yeah. And for all
I
you
say
creative...
that like I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
She's been putting up Christmas decorations all over the place.
It's everywhere.
So, yeah, Christmas is right around the corner, so we got a couple Christmas songs lined up we're going to play today. Why not? Got to get everybody in that Christmas cheery type mood. Get some, what do they call it? Oh, yeah, Christmas spirit going, maybe.
Christmas cheer.
Yeah.
Spread a little Christmas cheer.
We already started watching Christmas movies.
Oh, yeah.
Kurt Russell's Christmas Chronicles.
Oh, that's such a good show.
It is. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Both of them. I was wondering if they was going to come out with a third one this year, but because it'd be 3 years in a row. But I haven't seen any kind of advertisements for one yet, so have no idea on that. So now we are. You want to go ahead and play a song?
Yeah.
Okay, which one would you like to play?
What do we got?
We got one queued up from Band Aid. I don't know if everybody. I'm sure everybody remembers Band Aid. Do you know it's Christmas time or something like that? And then we got another one, Let It Snow by Dean Martin. Which one would you like?
Oh, let's do the Band-Aid one.
The Band-Aid one? All right, here's the
Put a
Band-Aid
Band-Aid
song.
on it.
Do They Know It's Christmas or something like that. And that was a Band-Aid song. There was 30 different artists.
I think it's pronounced Band-Aid.
That's what I said.
You said Band-Aid.
Band-Aid. Oh. Yeah, but Band-Aid.
I'm picturing a big old Band-Aid.
There she is correcting me on the air.
And I waited too.
I just can't win.
You win.
Just cannot win.
You're winning every day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And there I go. That is my favorite word, evidently. Absolutely.
Yeah, we all like to say it.
Yeah, stop saying that.
It's the go-to word instead
Right.
of I probably say that. I say so a lot. So.
You know, when I first started broadcasting, I had to really focus on getting rid of that because that's what everybody wants to do. Right?
It's a pause filler.
No, it's a thought filler because you don't have any thoughts because you're not creative enough, just like your topic.
Is that what it is?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Daddy Mer and Nina show right here on STL Hits Radio. We love having you here. Let us know you're out there. Get in the chat room at stlhits.com. We love chatting with you while we're doing the live shows.
Last week we didn't have a show going on, and that threw us all off.
Yeah, last week was a little strange.
Yeah.
So, but here we are back and gonna just
Back
move forward.
again. Yeah.
So, as far as that article is concerned, as far as how do you see yourself as far as the creative person?
What do you mean by that? Like, how do I see myself?
Do you see yourself a little psychotic? Or
Sometimes I feel that way, but that's just my process because I have all of that. I talk to myself. I have that inner voice. I visualize things quite a bit.
Usually something that has to do with the baseball bat and me. But, okay.
That's only when you're home.
Right, yeah. And I'm not home very often.
Right.
So we're not going to get too personal.
Right.
Just having a nice little show here. Like I said, play some Christmas songs and talk about this article.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I kind of tuned out a little bit in that article, looking at other stuff, whatever. So, did it happen to mention, okay, you said about 50% of the people have this to where they visualize or use their inner monologue, as we're as we call it, right?
Right. They said that in the first thing that I saw that made me want to look into it because I found that very odd. But of course, the internet is full of different opinions and it varies all over the place.
Yeah, just like, never mind, I'm not going to go there. I was going to say, everybody knows that phrase, opinions, and everybody has one. So,
Yeah.
but, yeah, I mean, the opinion part of it is kind of bull, probably. But is there, I wonder if there's any actual statistical information.
Yeah, I mean,
that
that
50%.
varied throughout. I read all different kinds of articles, and it varied throughout all of the articles. Some said 50%. Some said everybody has an inner monologue. They just don't realize that they're using it. Some said 30% of people only use it. It's all over the place. So,
Okay.
all different statistics
Yep.
because they do it in different areas.
So basically, we just picked out this one article to go off of for the show. So,
Yes.
all right. So, if it's an interesting topic to everybody, I would suggest looking it up. I'm sure there's all kinds of information on it, on maybe even YouTube. YouTube University. Everybody loves YouTube University. Learn a bunch of interesting stuff on there.
And we'd like to know who out there has the same thing. Like if anybody out there doesn't have that inner voice,
Well,
we'd love to hear from you.
yeah, most of the people that we talk to are the creative people, the musicians and the artists and the authors and stuff like that. So I'm sure that most of them have their inner thought process, their inner monologue, their inner voice. And, some people will say that, and I can see why they say it's the voice of God, because it's your thoughts, but where does that thought come from? I
Right.
mean, like with me, I hear my own voice when I'm talking to myself in my head, right? Because it's the voice that's you
That
hear.
Yes. That's
So-
familiar to you.
But, some of the thoughts are like, where'd that come from?
That's how it works a lot with me. Like if I'm having a big issue that I need that answer to, or that would help me out a lot, it tends to be that way. If you think about it, and then you go into a quiet space and you change the topic because you're doing something else, and then all of a sudden, a couple of hours later, you get the answer to it in your head.
Yeah, I mean, you probably already have the answer.
Right.
It's just that you have to work through your problem solving in order to come up with the conclusion of what is best for you at that time.
Correct. Yes.
So now I wonder, because I already know, being a creative person myself, that the inner monologue really helps out with if you're an artist, a drawer, if you draw, if you paint, if you model, clay,
Well,
sculpt.
that goes because that's intuitive. Everything that you do like that comes to you intuitively. So it's like an automatic process that your brain works out for yourself. And that's what they say that's great for. That inner monologue is your intuition talking to you.
Your intuition?
Intuition.
Okay. So, speaking of male versus female, women always say they have an inner intuition about almost everything.
Yes.
And men go, huh? What? I don't know what you're talking about. So, men
That's
don't talk
true.
about things like that too much. Technically, really. Most men keep a lot of things a lot more private to themselves, even their own thoughts. They just don't share them with nobody.
I think times are a-changing because it seems to me with all of the stuff that is on the internet now and the radio, people are coming out a lot more and speaking about things that, generally weren't spoken about before.
But are they doing it in a constructive manner? That's kind of the key. You can speak out, and then you can speak out in a constructive manner, and then you can also speak out in a destructive manner. Mm-hmm. That hurts people's feelings, or does this or that or whatever, or get you fired because you spoke your opinion. please fire me. No, I'm just kidding. So everybody's different, and everybody is really emotional. But human beings are emotional based, and with the creative people and the inner monologues, you kind of wonder: does that inner monologue come out in bad times? At bad times, like you just spurt something out that you didn't really mean to say, but it's part of that inner monologue thought process, and it just comes out like diarrhea of the mouth.
I have that issue. When I speak, it's very true. When I speak, it just comes out. I have a very hard time regulating my thoughts from my brain to my mouth. And people tend to take that wrong because they think that you're speaking harshly or you're speaking on things you shouldn't be speaking about. But it's just the way certain people talk. I love talking to all different types of people and hearing all different opinions. And it doesn't make you, I guess, closed-minded. I'm not closed-minded, but I'm having a hard time finding
Most people
the
would
word.
say you're an ass.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
you in particular, just whenever
No,
you speak
I've
your
been
mind.
called an ass before.
But whenever you speak your mind,
And
I've
worse.
been called an ass before too. But whenever you speak your mind like that, and sometimes you didn't actually mean to say exactly what you said, or people take it out of context. Not really out of context, but with me, I always sound pretty aggressive.
Yes,
right?
you do.
And so people take me out of context all the time. I can be joking around with somebody, but I have this manner about me sometimes that I'm just crabby, right?
Hence, crabby koala.
Yeah. She calls me crabby koala because of that reason. But, I'm joking or I'm not, nothing serious.
Right.
But people have a tendency of taking me very seriously, and I don't know how to, I don't know how to fix that. I don't know if I want to fix that.
It's just who you are.
It is. It's just part of me.
Your normal look is not grouchy, but you look a lot more serious than you are.
Well, people say I look intense,
Yes.
like
Yes,
I'm
you
really
do.
focused, and which in most cases when I'm busy, I am really focused on the task at hand, and my facial expression is very intense, and sometimes I find it hard or difficult to get out of that intense state. But I'll try to joke around with people, like I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
But they take it as me being intense or serious or, just an ass, all in general. And then I walk away going, "What just happened?" They're mad at me. Why are they mad at me?
Right.
I'm joking around with them. Why are they mad at me?
And ever since I've met you, I've thought it in that second that you have that face on, but I just instantly knew you from the beginning. You look like you're intense, and you look like you're mad about something, but you're not. That's just your face
Yeah, I got to
And
wake
your
up to it
passion.
every day.
and your passion.
Yep. People do mistake passion for aggression also, or anger. Passionate people can seem angry because things aren't going perfect.
But you also have that loud inner monologue. Where whenever you're doing things, it seems like that's the only voice that you hear.
Well, that's because that is the only voice that I hear, and everything else in the world gets tuned out because I am that focused on what I'm doing.
I have the same thing. I don't want to call it an issue because it's natural. It's just who we are and how we behave and how we think. But I have that same thing happen all the time.
Well, I was. A lot of people know this. I've mentioned this on the show before. I was a machinist for 25 years, so I had to be absolutely perfect all the time, right? And being perfect meant that if I was off, and if anybody knows any kind of measurements, I guess, if I was off 10 thousandths of an inch on anything, most of the time I would have scrapped a $250,000 piece of steel or more. I worked on big chunks of metal that was worth $2 million. There's a little bit of stress that comes along with drilling a hole in a $2 million piece of aluminum, and then if that hole's off, just if you take a human hair and split it 6 times, if it's off just one of those 6 splits, that whole piece is scrap. Okay? So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of stress. So for me, I had to learn to be that intense. I had to learn to be that focused
Concentration.
to make sure I didn't, mess up a $2 million piece of metal. You know, the employers at that time probably would have been pretty upset with me. So yeah, perfection is a kind of a trait of a creative person also, right? You know, it kind of goes along with that inner monologue and arguing with yourself all the time and stuff like that. I think.
Yes, and wanting to do well in your job and
Or whatever else you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're not going to do your best, you might as well not even do it.
Correct.
That's my opinion. But if you're not going to put your best foot forward, you just might as well not do it because you're just half-assing everything.
Mm-hmm. I do agree.
And half-assing things sometimes get people hurt in a lot of different fields. So you got to be careful with that.
Mm-hmm.
Put your best foot forward, do what you can do, and be creative. Come up with some new ideas. I haven't hardly seen any new ideas from people in general in a very long time. I would love to see a big research and development pop up in the United States.
Right.
Research and development center so that creative people can go there and actually develop new technologies and new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't know if we have anything like that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know either. There's a lot of creativity going on out there, and I know even for myself, it's repurposed, if you want to call it that.
Well, it's kind of like
everything's been done.
Well, that's why I said new technologies. You got to start doing this stuff. The new technologies, the newer, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
New ways of doing things.
No, that's way above my pay grade.
Well, evidently it's above my pay grade too.
Right. Is that your idea and creativity bell going off?
Yeah, evidently.
But yeah, that inner monologue is very important to me, and I don't know what would happen if I didn't have that. I think that's it. That's crazy. It's like, what do you think about? What do you on there, the one lady said that she likes to talk everything out with other people. I do that as well. I have the inner monologue, I have the pictures going on, and the liking to talk to other people to get their opinions, which I may not take, but I love to hear the different opinions out there.
Well, yeah, not only talking to people, I know when I was younger, a teenager, I stayed away from people a lot, but I always had my dog. And so I talked my problems over with my dog. My dog didn't argue back. The only thing she did was lick my face and basically tried to console me and say everything was going to be okay.
That's your inner monologue, in a way.
Yeah, right. So my dog at that time, when I was a teenager, was my inner monologue, is what you're saying. So I was putting words in the dog's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yep.
All right.
But they were there physically for you.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they say, I watched something one time. They're training these dogs to be inside of an MRI machine, to lay inside of an MRI machine for 2 hours, 3 hours at a time without moving. Because what they're doing is they're putting these dogs in the MRI machine and scanning their brain and watching the brain functionality. And because of this, they put the owners don't go in there for like an hour and a half. and they put the owners in front of the MRI so the dog can see the owner through the tube, and then all of a sudden the brain activity spikes up in a certain area, which they say is consistent with a 2-year-old child for an adult dog. The thought process, is
So their interest and their recognition and everything, it shoots up in that certain.
yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Certain parts of their brains just spike whenever they see their owners, and they get all happy and excited, and but they train these dogs not to move, so their brains are still, and they want to move, but they know not to because they're inside the machine.
Dogs are amazing. We don't deserve them.
Yeah, in a lot
I
of
said
ways.
dogs, not cats. Cats are amazing too, but
Yeah, we don't want to get the cat people mad at us.
oh, I'm a cat person too. We have a 10-year-old border collie lab mix, and she is the goodest girl in the whole wide world.
The goodest?
The goodest. I
Now you
said it the
start-
way I said it.
Starting to talk like me.
She's my sweetheart. And
Good.
then we have a 1-year-old cat, and we got her in May, I think it was.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
And she turned 1 in July. And we named her Lulu, short for Lucifer,
Baby Lucifer.
baby Lucifer.
Yeah, she's a holy terror.
We know for sure why they say that dogs have masters and cats have staff.
Well, we're just all over the place with this show today.
Yeah,
We're-
we are.
So,
That's all right.
lot of deep insight into the household of Daddy Murr and Nina. A lot of deep insight. So
Oh, it is what it is, We got to talk about what we know.
yeah, well, evidently we're talking about something we don't know, but we're learning a little bit of information about, which is the inner monologue. Kind of cool. And I hope everybody's enjoying the show, the Daddy Murr and Nina show here on STL Hits. We are going to play another song, I think.
Okay.
So I think we're going to play Burl Ives' Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. What do you think about that one?
I love this one. You
You
can't
love
go
this one?
wrong with Burl.
All right, people. Burl Ives with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Here we go. Man, what a great song. I remember, listening to that song every Christmas with the reindeer movie, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movie.
Absolutely. That never gets old.
Burl Ives, didn't he do the voice of the snowman narrating?
He did, was it the snowman? Yeah. Yes,
dressed
he
up with the
did.
bow tie and the vest and everything.
Yes,
so-
he did. It's been a few years since I've seen that movie, though.
Yeah, we got to look for the classics. I used to have them I bought them one time on DVD. They were in like this. It looked like a book, like a Christmas book, kind of like the old Lifesavers. Remember how every year Christmas Lifesavers
love
would
those.
make that little book with all the different Lifesavers in there and stuff. But this was a CD disc set of all the classic Christmas movies that looked kind of the same way. It was awesome. So,
Yeah, that was a good one.
yeah, we got about 10 minutes left.
Okay. 10 minutes on the clock. What are we going to talk about?
I don't know. You're the one with the topic today. All right, we ran out of time. I don't know. We didn't run out of time. I'm just joking. So,
Yeah, but, that would be great to hear back from other people. You could reach us at twitter.com/STL Hits Radio, on Facebook at STL Hits Radio, or on Instagram at the Daddy Murr Show. Yeah, it's at the Daddy Murr Show, right?
the Daddy Murr and Nina show.
Okay. Yeah, so, and then you could also get on here, stlhits.com, and at any time, whether we're on or not, leave us a message.
Let us know how we're doing.
Yeah. Or just talk.
Send in your requests. If you want a song played during one of our live shows, let us know, and we will, shout out your name and let you know that we're playing your song and play it.
Yeah. And also, if you'd like to host a show, get in contact with us, and we'll talk about what you're wanting to do and
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
the information out.
Yep. If you want to host a show, contact us through help@stlhits.com. If you want to submit your music, contact us at submit@stlhits.com. Send in a couple MP3s and, maybe your album cover and your information, a little bit of a bio, and we'll
We'll
maybe
get back to you.
Yeah, we go through the submissions we try to go through once a week, sometimes twice a week through the submissions. So usually by Sunday we go through the submissions and send out emails and go from there.
Right, and right now we're working on our lineup. We've had a lot of people contact us with their music. I'm very excited. We just have to get the scheduling going.
Yeah, absolutely. Again. Yeah. So sometimes people work. Even creative people, musicians, artists, they work a regular job. So it's difficult sometimes to get everybody on the same page with the time frames and the scheduling, but it's coming together. So
right,
everything happens for a reason, and I believe that wholeheartedly.
Absolutely.
So,
ooh. You want to play another Christmas music? Another Christmas song?
Well, let's see how much. Yeah, we can play another Christmas song. So, you want to play "Let It Snow"?
That sounds good to me.
"Let It Snow" by Dean Martin. So, here we're gonna.
Oh, I love that Dino.
Yeah. I miss a lot of the old actors and, stuff like that from way back when.
That was real entertainment.
Well, the Dean Martin with his variety show, that was awesome.
Yeah, with Jerry. Oh my gosh,
Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lewis.
Well,
yeah.
Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin played in a lot of movies together too.
Yeah.
And they were a great couple or pair, not a couple.
Duo.
You got a duo. They worked well together.
They did.
So, all right, here it goes. "Let It Snow" by Dean Martin. "Let It Snow" by Dean Martin.
Such a good song.
Oh yeah,
Makes you want to get a cup of hot cocoa and.
It reminds me of a time where people had real raw talent and was able to use mechanical devices like a microphone they had great voices.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Without the tuners or whatever they call them.
Yeah, without all the electronic gadgets and stuff. So just real raw talent back then.
Right. Now, we're going to have another show next Thursday. We have our live shows Thursday at 4 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. And why don't we go ahead and whoever joins us next Thursday, you have to join us at stl.com. I'm sorry, stlhits.com, and you have to comment on the comment section your email address. And we will pick a winner, and we will send you something special out, get a hold of you, and send you a little Christmas gift from stlhits.com.
Okay. Hey,
So-
that sounds great.
Yeah, so all you have to do is next Thursday, 4 p.m., whenever we come on live, join us in the comments section and drop your email, and we will pick from that list one winner, and they will get something special.
The comment section or the chat room?
Chat room. In the chat room.
In the chat room? Okay. So join us in the chat room next Thursday, December 16th.
Yeah, no matter where you're listening to us from. It doesn't matter which,
Where in the world?
Yeah, well,
Or are we staying within
whichever
the continental United States?
platform that you listen
platform.
to us.
Okay.
Right. As long as you come back next Thursday, 4 p.m., and you put your email address in there, we will pick from all of that one person.
Yeah, it'll go in a hat, and we'll draw the name. And I think we ought to draw the name live on the air the next week. No,
It won't be in time for Christmas.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I see
So
what's
we'll
going on here.
we'll contact you through your email address to get your address and information to send that gift out.
Hey, it sounds like a great idea. Mm-hmm. So remember, folks, December 16th, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Daddy Murr and Nina Show on STLHits.com. Go to STLHits.com and enter to win a Christmas gift, basically,
From us,
from us to you, simply by
commenting your email address, and make sure you have it all spelt out right, because that's the way we'll be contacting you.
Yeah, because
The
we
winner.
don't want everybody putting their physical address on.
Right.
So give us your email address, and the winner will get a free gift mailed to them.
Yes.
Sounds like.
Merry Christmas.
Can I enter?
Can you enter?
Can I enter to win?
No, you get the gift of me.
Oh,
So that's the best gift in the world.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree. Yeah. See, I'm always a winner.
Yes, always. I told you that earlier.
Always a winner. All right, folks, we are out of time, so we are going to call it a night and leave you with this little public service announcement.
Public service announcement.
Well, it's supposed to be a public service announcement. A commercial. Ad break. So have a good night, and thank you for joining us here on the Daddy Murr and Nina Show
Yep.
on STLHits.com. Have a great evening,
Good
folks.
night, everybody.